All right, we're good.
Yeah. So we just gonna do some game film or what?
Yeah, I think that was kind of the plan, just to share some clips and talk through it and stuff.
Sounds good. Yeah, I'm Jose Licon. I'm the offensive coordinator at Hugoton High School in Western Kansas.
I'm Beau Brecheisen. I'm the offensive coordinator at Casey Turner High School in Kansas City, Kansas.
I'm Garrett Owens. I'm actually the fullbacks coach and co-offensive coordinator here at Mass Maritime. I grew up in Houston and somehow ended up out here. Um, I'm a Harding guy though, so I was at Harding for 6.5 years. Went to school there and then stayed there a couple years after. So
Sounds good. Let me see if I could share my. I always forget how to share my screen. Mm,
there we go.
Can you guys see my screen now?
Yep.
Okay. You guys can see this?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so this was like our second to last game last season, and there was a lot of good things in this game. Uh, we're playing a team that's in an odd front, a pretty good team named Goodlands, and I think this is kind of the point in our season where we kind of really started figuring things out. There's still a lot of mistakes, but we ran the hell out of mid triple in this game, and we a lot of zone dive, so it's some pretty good film. So all this is just zone dive to the weak side, just to start the game off. We actually get stopped on this first drive, and then I think they fumble it or throw an interception on their first um, possession, and we get the ball right back. So this is literally like the next play, and he takes it to the house. Um, and all this was our mid triple. We knew that their safety was a stud, so we were just trying to keep them on their toes a little bit. So we were running it with no motion, and he takes it to the house. Come back again with mid triple, get the pitch here. Not great blocking to the outside, but it'll do. This is our heavy set. Um, we literally just bring in like two extra linemen and go double tight end on one side. We're a little bit slow off the ball here, but all this is just zone dive.
Are your B-backs heels at 6 yards? The way you run it?
Yeah, so I want to be I in a perfect world, I want them to be at 5 yards, kind of just like regular flexbone stuff, but depending on the play, they start getting themselves a little bit deeper. Um, so
Right.
yeah,
Yeah. I know Air Force does that when they run dives, so that's the only reason I was curious.
yeah. So he's anywhere. Sometimes he's a little bit closer, right at 5, and then sometimes he's a little bit deeper. This is that mid triple again. We actually won this game like 35-33. And it was crazy because we both we both had a shitload of yards. The the black team had all their yards throwing and we had all our yards rushing. So it was pretty fun. A fun game to be in. Some of the bad stuff. So we were messing with our cadence a bunch this game. We would go on first sound, we would go on regular, and then we would go on two just to kind of keep that defense on their toes. And this slot back gets jumps offside and costs us some yards. I mean, if we get a little bit better blocking to this overside, this might hit. My receivers were just tiny this past year. This is some QB counter that gets blown up a little bit. It's been a good play for us, but I think they were keying on it a little bit. See, that's that safety making a play. I wish that once he got here, he kind of just put his foot in the ground and got north and south. So we could have gotten that first down, maybe, but we don't end up getting it. And then somehow we get the possession here. This is just our load option. They played it really, really well. I mean, they were a pretty athletic team, got to the outside quick. Again, another stupid penalty. Um, Pass play here. I think all we're doing is just running verticals, trying to catch them slipping a little bit. Getting into our empty, trying to get the first down. We were kind of desperate here. It's just kind of our flood concept here. And I don't think it hits. Nope. So this drive is probably the best drive we've had, one of the best drives we've had all season. We start at the 1 yard line, and I think we actually get called for a penalty, so we get pushed back to the half-yard line. Yeah, I think they called like holding or something dumb. But we're at the half-yard line. Start off with a zone dive, get a few yards. This is mid triple with the regular, zipper motion, kind of the regular flexbone stuff. Um, Quarterback drops the snap, but we get the pitch off and get close to a first down. Zone dive again. I mean, we probably run zone dive 20% of the time. some rocket. They were a really, really athletic team. So this is just a dive variation. So this is just a slot back dive. Um, we try to block it up just like zone dive, leading up with the fullback. Mid triple again. Quarterback follow. Mid triple again. They kind of eat it up, but our slot makes a really good play and cuts it back and gets some yards for us. Zone dive again out of our heavy set. This is that quarterback counter. We fake toss and pull the guard in the tackle, backside guard and tackle. Heavy set again, close to the stick, so just running zone dive. We'd probably get away with the hold right there. This coach was not happy all game long. This is a this is belly. Um, I think this scores. So that was a really, really good drive for us. Dumb penalty. Rocket. I would like him to try to get north and south a lot quicker. Um, and try to find a lane there. But he does an okay job. Heavy set zone dive. Dumb penalty. Belly again. We had two B backs, two fullbacks, and this one that's in the game right now, he was really good at running belly. He would just hit that hole, almost perfectly. And belly was a big play for us. We get all those yards back. Belly, belly again. Belly was always a little bit better to the right side than it was to the left. This is actually a good pass play, so we didn't have a lot of those. But this is just our boot. Hit the backside receiver in the end zone for a touchdown. Again, this is our belly. We do pull it sometimes. This game I think we were just running it with no pull. Um, just because they were in that odd front. Um, this is our empty set. I think we're just running a load. See, like right there, I wish he would have just gone once he gotten once he got to the end zone or to the outside, he should have just gone north and south and try and get as many yards as he could. This was a bad pass play. We throw an interception here. This is like right at the end of the second half, so we're just trying to get close enough to either get a shot to the end zone or attempt a field goal because we had a pretty good kicker. But we get a little trigger happy and he overthrows that wheel. They were keying on it really good. This is just our post wheel. Um, Gary, you guys at Harding, you guys call it Wisconsin, right?
Yeah, it was Wisconsin.
Yeah. So I love post wheel. I think this is the start of the second half. Try to go through this quick. Belly again. This is that other B back. He's more of a, zone dive type kid. And as you see, he kind of hits that belly a little bit slower than the other guy. Uh, this is our condensed set. We call it star. I think some other teams call it star. Um, but yeah, we're in our condensed set and just running mid triple. We're losing a couple linemen from this team, but all our backfield is coming back and our receivers are coming back. So I'm pretty excited for the season. This is our QB counter that gets blown up a little bit. This is just quarterback follow. B-back gets a good block. Belly. This is just a zone dive with motion across to try to kind of fake that load option. This is that slot back dive again. The fullback becomes that lead blocker. It's our quarterback getting smacked on a mid triple, but it's a positive play, so I'll take it. That um this safety is actually going to K-State. He's a stud. Our tackle getting blown up on our tackle right here was getting blown up all game by this guy. But we get just enough to get past the sticks. Mid triple again to the boundary. I think we get called for a holding here. I don't know what happened. Ooh, broken play. Just a bad snap. Oh, we should have had that. This is just our verticals. Empty quarterback counter. for a few yards. I think we tried a field goal after that, and then I think we had a turnover, so we got the ball. Zone dive gets blown up. That tackle was getting eaten up all game long. That DN was really good. We're kind of imploding right now. Our kids were just really young, and this was a big game, and I think they just got a little antsy, but luckily we were able to pull it off. Mid triple, I think this scores. Yeah. Best playing football. The zone dive again for a few yards of our heavy set. Um, Mid triple. Pretty good blocking. I think we got called for a holding here, but I mean, I don't know. Mid triple again out of our condensed set. Quarterback counter that gets eaten up. Mid triple two. This D end was just a freaking stud, man. He was in our face all game. And he he kills the B back and almost intercepts that freaking toss and almost makes the tackle downfield. He had a motor. Fourth down. Our go-to is always zone dive. He almost breaks it too. Would have been a lot easier if he did. This is quarterback belly follow. So we're just running it straight like belly, but our quarterback just follows that B back. Mid triple again. We don't get any blocking by a receiver. He's trying to cry for a face mask. He just needs a block. I have no idea what this was. Just a broken play. Mm. That's what happens when you throw the ball. Mid triple again. This is kind of close to the end. I think we have the lead and we're kind of just trying to close the game out. Quarterback follow. Zone dive. Belly. Like I said, this B-back just kind of hit belly a little slow. Um, our other guy is our better belly runner. Mid triple that gets he gets blown up by this backside guy. Gosh. This guy was a freak. Rocket that gets eaten up. So we're up by 2 points. We go for it on fourth down, so they get it. We end up getting the ball back and winning the game, just running out the clock. They end up not having enough time to do anything. And that's it.
Okay, so I kind of went through and picked out a few drives from our last three regular season games, and we really started to figure some things out. This first one here. Okay, can you guys see that?
Yep.
Okay, so first one here is against Topeka West. First drive of the game, we drove all the way down to like the 15 and then ran outside veer, and our slot actually fumbled the pitch. And so we came away with no points on the very first drive. Um, this drive here is to open up the second half. They were super tight, like double ones, double threes on the defensive line. And second half, they kind of started to spread out because we ran so much rocket and jet and stuff. So first play is just zone dive. Zone dive again with just rip motion. Third and three, we run jet. This kid was kind of our playmaker all year. He's just so slippery and so quick. And then very next play, we have one guy on the outside responsible for pitch, and he actually ends up taking quarterback, and we ended up scoring. So very next drive, or maybe two drives after, we come back with just outside veer. Right back with it again. This B back that we have in here was a freshman last year and one of our best athletes on the team. I mean, as an eighth grader, ran a 4.740, cleaned 215. I mean, dude's just a freak. Third and two, come back to the left with outside veer again. Then we have jet with our guy again. And this was when he finally found that cutback lane and ended up scoring.
Coach, what are your blocking rules for your jet?
So for O line, we just teach rip and run. Just get your head across to the guy on our inside gap. If there's nobody on your inside gap, you climb to second level. For the play side slot, it's just arc. You're just arc blocking. And then just stalking corner for our receiver. Um, this last year, we kind of tried to sell speed option to the backside with our B back and quarterback just to hold those backside defenders. But this was one of the few plays where all of our perimeter blocking was pretty decent. So very next week, this was our first drive of the game against Piper. So it's kind of funny. This game and the next game, our left tackle here actually jumps uh, on the first play both games.
Time getting up to snap, obviously.
Yeah, yeah. Um, but yeah, both those games we started off with a 1st and 15 to start the game. But just
What's your cadence,
straight
coach?
give up. Say that again.
What's your cadence?
So last year it was down, ready, go, set, hit. This year we're changing it to what Harding does, which is just down, ready to go. We're just shortening it up and cleaning things up a little bit all around on the offense. There were just some things last year that we tagged that we don't necessarily need to. Um, so play calling will be a lot simpler this year. The plays will just look a lot cleaner just by rules. So quarterback pulls and keeps here on outside veer. Gets us into a 3rd and 7. We try to run switch, but pass pro kind of gets broken up here. And so we just scramble into a 4th and 1. End up going for it, zone dive to the right, and pick up.
Did you ask your head coach if you could do that?
So right after the scramble, immediately when the play was over, I looked at him and he was like, "Go." So I think he already had his mind made up on the 3rd down.
Yeah.
So here back with outside veer. We ran the crap out of veer this year. Right here with jet. Kind of gets blown up here. So here we have mid triple. Our perimeter blocking could have been better all year. We kind of struggled in that area. See our receiver kind of gets lost here in the mix of everything, but end up getting the 1st down on 3rd and 6. Then we come back with zone dive on 1st down with rip motion. Come right back with mid triple to the right. Once the quarterback immediately realized, oh crap, I should have pulled it, I called the exact same play again on 3rd and 5. He ends up pulling it, getting it kicked, and getting another 1st down. So I have our condensed set here. We run jet again.
Is jet basically your rocket toss, or do you run both?
We ran both this year. We carried both. We just found jet was just hit a lot quicker, um, and had a lot more success than rocket. Um, with jet, we averaged about 6 or 7 yards a carry, and rocket we averaged right around 3. So
That's a play. That's a play that I think just out of our short pistol, we've never really gotten Jet looking good. So we've never really carried it. I tried one year and it just kept getting blown up, so I threw it out. But
yeah,
I think it just hits a lot quicker and a lot better under center.
definitely. Yeah. Um, this play here, it's just zone dive to the left, but this was probably our best single rep zone dive all year as far as our dig out with our slot. And then our tackle veer stepping to this inside guy. Right back with zone dive. Then mid triple that gets blown up. Come back here with switch. And then so we have a 4th and 9 here. Um, this was our longest drive of the season. Took up 10 minutes off the clock, and we didn't score because we had that mid triple that got blown up, and then the incomplete pass, and then we try to run B back toss here with our freshman who's fast as hell, but our perimeter blocking was, I mean, pretty much non-existent. End up 3 yards short. So this is on the ensuing drive. Piper went down and kicked a field goal to take a 3-0 lead, and then tried an onside kick, and we actually recovered it. And so we ended up scoring and taking the lead here. Starting off again with outside veer coming to the right.
Coach, you got a lot of guys coming back.
Yeah, so our quarterback comes back. Both of our B backs are coming back. Um, we only lost our center and right guard on the offensive line, and then everybody else is a returner. So this is a big year for us coming up. So just zone dive here. I don't know what our quarterback saw in this. It's supposed to be just straight zone dive, but he ends up pulling it, but ends up getting his face mask ripped off for a penalty. So kind of bails us out. Hmm. Just a bad read here by our quarterback. That D end was a dude. So veer here again. And then 3rd and 7, we call mid triple. And we actually end up getting 8. Back to the zone dive. Our slot gets blown up here. Just bad first step. Outside veer to the left. down to the 1, and then punching it in. Okay, so last game that I had here was against Shawnee Heights. This is the last regular season game. Um, this was the most points we scored all year in a single game. We ended up scoring 30. Um, they ended up pulling away from us in the second half, but really good competitive game for us. So yeah, first drive we ended up fumbling on like the sixth or seventh play. First play was jet. This play was supposed to be inside veer, but after our quarterback pulls it, he kind of forgets how to walk. I'm not sure what happened, but so now we got a 3rd and 6, quarterback counter, end up getting 7.
How do you run your quarterback counter? You pulling your
So
backside.
we just pulled the backside guard.
Okay.
Yep. Under center, I think guard tackle gets kind of muddy.
Yeah.
So just pulling the one guy just kind of frees up some space. So here's Rocket. And mid double.
Do y'all do a true tight end at the nub or I'm trying to see 80s?
85 here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just base blocking.
Yeah, so is it a tight end or a receiver that you usually put there?
That's just the tight end.
Tight end. Okay.
Yep.
Do you guys ever run mid double with that backside slot that's going in motion inserting?
So we did at the start of the season. For us, the teams that we faced all odd fronts the first half of the season, and then all even fronts the second half. And with all those odd fronts, with the backers plugging so much that play just got kind of muddy. And so we ended up going to this with our tornado motion inserting, and then backside slot just carrying out his pitch path. I'm not sure what happened there. So back here was zone dive, then outside veer, and kind of a broken play, but it ends up working out for us. He barely gets into the end zone. Let's see. I think this is the very next drive. Q follow, and then jet. Like I said, this guy was kind of our playmaker. So yeah, just zone dive here in the second half. And we come back with mid triple. B back tries to keep the quarterback from pulling it. Third and 10, we needed something to get the momentum back, so we called switch. And that receiver, man, if he's one-on-one, he's going to come down with the ball. He was kind of our safety blanket. Right back with Jet. Another short third down. Zone dive is always the go-to. Then veer. And then here we actually had maybe Q follow here. But anytime we saw those backers walk up into a six-man surface, we told our quarterback to check to rocket. And so he does that here. And we're able to get just a couple yards. And I think our quarterback got the wrong play off the wristband here. And back with rocket again. Mid double to the left. Ends up getting 8 up there. And then right back with Jet for the touchdown.
All good. You got me?
Yep.
Okay.
Hey, Garrett.
So this team we're playing here, we hadn't beat since 2007. So it'd been a while, so this was a big one. And our athletic director, who's a assistant coach on the football team, his dad is the head coach and athletic director on the team we're playing. So obviously it's a big one, family rivalry wise. But the reason I put this first is because this was the only game that I called the first half all by myself or whatever. Usually it's me and the other guy, quarterback coach that kind of call it together, but he had a family funeral or whatever, so he wasn't here. But going into this game, we knew they were going to be in a bear front, zero, double threes, double fives, stack backers, manned corners. So first play of the game, we go 22, a yo-yo, which just tells the slot that he's doing the yo-yo motion. Um, we're trying to see what this deep backer's reading. Obviously, we weren't able to tell here, but this safety here looks like he's keying on that slot. So obviously, dive first play of the game. It's always good when it hits for a big chunk. Now, we are at the Division III level. I know you guys don't really have Division IIIs in Kansas. It mostly NAIA. But really, I was surprised at the level of talent at the D3 level out here. D3 is almost just as good as D2 out here. Um, so as you can tell by some of the size we have, and so
Coach, do you call it from the box?
yeah, yeah. we have another coach who's in the red right here that calls the signals to the players on the field. So yeah, we call everything from the box. Like I said, I'm a Harding guy. I was literally brought here to do everything the Harding way. So I'm like Coach Wheaton up in the box essentially, calling plays, looking at what defense is doing. Um, so obviously big game. Playing this was one of the few games we had on real grass. Quarterback had the jitters, drop snap, next play, no big deal. 3rd and 3, back to dive. Now, this was a game plan thing. We knew just because they played another Flexbone team in our conference that this made them lose the game. The other team in our conference, the popping A gap player going backside, they didn't protect this and they had 2 fumbles because of this. So the game plan going into this game, we called it out and we went unders, which is call from Harding, um, down, down, just because that's asking a lot for the center to go to the play side A gap here. Slot is supposed to try and dig out this end here. Doesn't quite get him, but he attached himself to the hip of the tackle, and he actually isn't even able to make the play. But that was a game plan thing, knowing what they were going to run. We undercut the deep Mike here, get vertical and big play. This is the first drive of the game, so big time. Same thing, jitters, drops the ball. Obviously, we were going gold 22, first sound. Toss. We knew going into this game, the corners were going to be in man on the safeties. So we get a 2-for-1 there, crack the safety with the receiver, and then we are able to just undercut the backer here because he overruns it. And as you can see here, the short backer is is responsible for the B back. So just kind of talking about the keys we're looking at. Back to Yo-Yo. This time you can clearly see that the deep mic is going with the twirl. We just stick it up in there for a decent gain. Obviously, this was on me. I should have just called the flow motion and then had it be an automatic give, just to see what they're doing. But um, clearly, the safeties aren't in complete man across the formation with them. We're just fortunate it wasn't a fumble. Now, I forgot to mention this. It looks like both of your quarterbacks are better athletes than the guy we have here. He's not really a big runner. So we definitely tag our way around to try and get the ball pitched or get the ball to the B back more. So dive, get a double team on the 3 tech here. We keep the slot stays down on the end, washes them down. We get vertical. B back makes me look good. So crazy part is going in this game, this nose guard number 34 is actually, I think he's 24, 25 as a freshman in college. So, and we had a freshman playing at center. So 18-year-old against a 24, 25-year-old. So, yeah, now back to Plummer. This is obviously mid triple. Now we were trying to account for this was the A pop call. So we got to have the center take care of the nose. Obviously, we know he's going back door. Got to get his eyes up. And then we get the plumber on the safety here. then we're able to outrun this deep backer. You'd like the tackle to be able to get up to him, but he whiffs on him. He outruns him, and then we're able to get a big play.
Coach, do you guys ever run Fargo with your play side tackle?
Oh yeah, yeah. We have it. We didn't run it very much this last year, but we do have it in the bank if we need it. That's obviously something we could do versus them next year, but it would just be kind of tricky identifying it because this guy's a safety and this guy's a linebacker. So it would just be have to be more of a game plan type thing. Go 30 base and just tell the tackle to outside release to get to that deep mic. But yeah, no, we definitely Fargo it to get it pitched. Then 27 slugger. Obviously, you guys, if you were at the Harding Clinic or anything, this is literally just quarterback belly. I was surprised he scored on this, if I'm being honest, but because it's 7 yards out, and you can kind of tell he's not the best runner, but we end up scoring, which is big time for us, starting the game out. The slot actually blocks the wrong guy here. It needs to be a down slot loading to the one of the inside backers, and then the B back needs to kick whoever shows there. So the slot blocks the wrong guy, and then there's actually nobody to count for the inside backers. So on paper, this doesn't look like it'll work at all. We're blocking a D end with a receiver getting out there. There's still two guys out here, and you wouldn't think it would work, but since they're in man coverage with the corner, we get the tackle out, get slot out, and we're in business. Uh, yeah, 18 is definitely our guy. He was only a sophomore. He's going to be a junior, so he's our really our playmaker. Um, the Another thing is a majority of our O line were all underclassmen. The only senior we had was 54, the right guard. So Tiger, getting the receiver, trying to get to the receiver to the deep mic, and then we have the slot to account for the short mic, the short backer here. Now the receiver doesn't get him, but it's still a good play. Slot gets his pad level too high and ends up getting trucked by the B back because of it. Obviously, as you can tell, number 0 is a doesn't look like a D3 player. Dive again, doubling the 3 tech. We get movement here.
Your old line seems like you got some big kids too.
Yeah, they are. Except it's actually at Harding, we never had a problem finding guards, but here it's definitely more of a thing because we're pseudo military, so they have like physical testing and stuff they have to do. So O linemen or big boys are a little more difficult to find, but we were lucky to have. He was a senior. He was right around 300 pounds. This guard is about 275. Center was about 260, 270. So what's up? I'm good right now. Um, so but yeah, so we were lucky with what we had. Now mentally they aren't the best a lot of times, but physically we were lucky to have some big boys. Now the problem we had is, after the first drive is we didn't have anybody to count for this deep mic. Obviously, he's the guy responsible for pitch. So back to toss, just using their rules against him. Now, what's really nice is that this receiver right here is actually a freshman, was a freshman, and he's getting down dirty, blocking a D end. He's going to be our guy next year at receiver. Yes. So this guard was a sophomore. This tackle was that 50? Yeah, he was a freshman. Slot was a senior, but we should be good. We were 5-5 this last year, so not great, but there were a couple one score games where we definitely could have been 7-3 pretty easily. Now, my only assumption is that they were expecting gold here, jump off sides, get it easy, 5 yards, back to dive. So here, the problem with this is the O line identified a shade here, so they aced there, but then we didn't have anybody to count for the three tech, so that's what the whole issue was there. And then after a negative play, just run some Carolina off of the mid triple action. They're asking their deep Mike to cover the corner, so we'll take that any day. Then we had the backup quarterback in here. They, for some reason here, they decided that rotation at quarterback was a way to do. Not my decision, but obviously it's not ideal with in the groove of the game and everything. So, and then here we really should have had a decent play, um, but both the receiver and the slot kind of miss on the perimeter. So, yeah, and here's Falcon. Obviously, you ran that. This guy, number 15 here, we actually moved to slot in this spring because he's like a track guy, real athletic kid, just wasn't great at quarterback. And then here the tackle just gets beat. Let me just move ahead to, so this was our first win of the season, week 3. Obviously, my first year here, kind of getting the groove of everything up in Vermont. So on we luckily enough we had film on how this team was going to play us with these tilted DNs. So instead of bustering because they're tilted, we were just going to wash the three tech down with the tackle and try and make a big old gap right there. Yeah, now we catch them off guard with first sound, get vertical, go inside out, backside linebacker overruns it, and we have a chunk play. So this guy here was my number one guy to start the season. Got a high ankle sprain week 5. Then the number 24 you saw from the previous game, he actually broke his fibula that game on a kick return. So I was playing with my 3 and 4 to end the season the last 3 weeks. So not ideal, but we made it work. Back to backside fast. That was a our head coach is a likes to pass the ball, so he's that's why they weren't great before I got here. He was calling the plays and enjoyed passing the ball. So this is our boot. Obviously, outside backer here was flying off the edge, so quarterback was he was right in his face. The ball was snapped. Back to mid triple. After this game, I definitely knew I was a Harding guy running mid triple and dive like 80% of the time. But here, I'm not sure exactly what happened. If he didn't hear the cadence or whatever, it was just a good thing the quarterback didn't toss the ball. Back to the bread and butter. The head coach was freaking out because they were walked up like this. Of course, it's fine because we're running dive. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what they're in at all. We're running dive. Triple. not great because of the way that the pitch key was flying up the field. We don't run outside veer, so this is kind of obviously it kind of looks like outside veer. But and then this we just got lucky. Number 18 made a play. He really wasn't even supposed to go out for a route. But we made a play and we weren't complaining about it. And then back to gold 22. Always a good play. Touchdown. If dive's getting 4+, just keep running it. Um, Obviously, our perimeter blocking was a challenge this year. Guess was a freak deal with the leg whip, but is there anything in particular y'all want to watch from like defensive front wise or anything like that?
Not really. I think Beau had to go. I think he had to
Yeah,
get his daughter, but
Yeah, I gotta
right.
hurry out, guys. Sorry.
Yeah, no problem.
but no, I mean this is all good film. Um, tell us a little bit about your like the school. Like it's a military school.
It's not, they don't have to serve, but they have uniforms, they have morning formation, they have its room inspections, all that sort of stuff. Now the reason this place exists and the reason people come here is to drive ships, to work on ships, because of the maritime industry is so needed or whatever. So a lot of our kids graduating make six figures right off the bat
Oh,
once they graduate. So it's kind of crazy hearing what some of our kids are making immediately after graduation. Like actually number 81 here, he had an internship over the winter that if he gets the job for them within a like 2 years, he'll be making $200,000 right off. So, and we're state school too. So the in-state guys, it's actually really cheap as well. So if you're just willing to basically suck it up and kind of put up with the military aspects of it, it's really can really be worth it if you're interested in that kind of stuff. So
how's it like coaching there?
it's definitely different. Obviously, I'm from down south, so the coaching style is a little different up here. And the kids football IQ and like devotion to football isn't as much as what I'm used to. Obviously, being from Texas and then being at Harding, so um, and then even from like I do the strength conditioning here too. A lot of our guys literally don't even know their body, like they don't know the bones of their body or something, and it's just mind blowing that they just random stuff like that. That's just kind of crazy to me, but I've been here for right over a year now. So got here last March. Um, so, but yeah, we only have 7 majors here too. So you kind of have to want a very specific thing if you're going to come here. So,
And it all has to do with like ships and stuff.
mostly engineering. So there's 3 engineering majors, marine engineering, working on ships, marine transportation, which is driving ships. And then there's 5 more. There's energy systems engineering, facilities engineering are the 2 other engineering degrees. There's a marine science that's not really that popular. And then there's a maritime business degree that really only in-state guys do, um, because it's just like a business degree. You can go a bunch of places for a business degree. And then emergency management, which can go into law enforcement, firefighting, and stuff like that. So
Nice. It seems like it'd be like a beautiful area to live, though.
Oh yeah, let me find some other one of our games that was home, um, that you can see the water in the background.
So are you like in a cape, like literally like in a cape, or?
So the Cape Cod Canal is actually so literally the ship that the so that right behind there is the Cape Cod Canal.
Wow.
So yeah, no, it's crazy to me that they're just kind of used to this around here. That
Yeah,
like randomly during practice, there will be a ship that comes down the canal.
that's sick.
Um, Let me see if there's some clips with the um, yeah, I mean you see a boat right there.
Yeah. That's sweet, man.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, campus is landlocked because of it. Um, so there really isn't much room to build any more buildings or expand or whatever.
Yeah.
So we have about 1,500 students on campus
Mhm.
and really no more room other than those 1,500. So for just because of with academic buildings and dorms. So this is homecoming. That's why all the cadets are lining the end zones here. Otherwise, there's not as many people show up for games.
There's another, you guys play another maritime school?
We know we play New York Maritime week one, and then there's also Maine Maritime, which we used to play, but then they shut down um, their football program and then are just bringing it back. And then
And
there's also Merchant Marine, which is the one that they get scholarship to go there. They're also D3, but they have to go. They have to serve after.
and
But yeah.
are they Flexbone too?
Merchant Marine is yes.
Okay.
Except they run the Springfield style Flexbone, which is more just get big and run dive and belly. They don't run and they do outside veer. They don't run mid triple or they don't really work to get the ball pitched quite as much as that's actually what they were doing the year before I got here. Running more of the Springfield style of Flexbone. But actually let me there's one of our on practice we just ended spring practice or we're about to end it. Um, in one of our clips, there was a big tanker go by in practice. So I was trying to find.
Are you enjoying it there?
Yeah, yeah. So far, I mean, obviously, so I'm technically not even full time here. So the only reason they kind of get all of us young coaches to come here is because we live on campus and we get cafeteria for free. Because we only make $13,000 a year and no benefits or anything. So um, that's kind of how it is. But it's kind of a starting point for a lot of us.
For sure.
But yeah, anyway, you can kind of see all the. But yeah, we aren't quite in Cape Cod, but we're right across the water from Cape Cod.
Wow.
So, um, but yeah, it is completely different than anything I ever experienced growing up. But um, that's this year. But yeah, we recruiting is definitely different at this place. You're basically just work for admissions essentially. You don't obviously no scholarships or anything. So yeah, there's another boat. Let's see. Thought there was a big old cruise ship that came by during this game, but yeah, it's completely absurd. Like anywhere else in the country, this is like crazy, but around here it's just normal. Let's see what's called. But yeah, SUNY Maritime is the New York Maritime School that
Okay.
we play. Um, but yeah, the wind off the water is definitely cold. So
The winter's pretty rough up there.
yeah, I my parents grew up in West Texas, so I know some wind out there too.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, this team here is the best team in the conference, and their players really do not look like Division III players. Their corners are both like 6'1", 6'2".
What school is that?
University of Massachusetts, Dartmouth. Dartmouth is a city or town or whatever in Massachusetts, but they just relatively recently got good. But yeah, actually, funny enough, have you heard the name Don Brown before?
Uh, Sounds familiar.
He was a defensive coordinator at Michigan like 4 or 5 years ago, and he was the head coach at UMass just last year. He actually just joined our staff
Wow.
like about a month ago. He's a secondary coach for us now, so needless to say, we should be good on defense.
Yeah.
So
You
it's
guys
just kind of
looking,
interesting.
you guys gonna be looking good for next year?
Yeah, yeah. We're returning 4 to 5 linemen. All my room is returning except 26, who got hurt early in the year. So I'm gonna have two seniors be back. Um, Slots, 18's returning, so he'll be good. Then we're just kind of 33 graduated. Receiver obviously isn't a big deal. We really just need bodies, numbers there. But yeah, no, we really should be better, obviously, after 1 year under the belt offensively. And then defensively, we should be where they're usually good around here defensively. I'm not exactly sure why, but they are always good around here. But yeah, we were 5-5 last year, but the best record the current head coach has ever had in his 21 years here was 6-4. So 5-5 doesn't look so bad once you realize that.
Yeah, that's good, man. Yeah, I was interested I knew I knew that some of those schools up there, those Division III like military schools ran the Flexbone, but I
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah.
quite sure.
Actually, I think we have some Merchant Marine film somewhere. Um,
I know there's like a rivalry game, right? Like
yeah,
them.
it's Merchant Marine and Coast Guard.
Yeah. Do they
Um,
both run the Flexbone?
no, Coast Guard doesn't, just Merchant Marine.
Oh, okay.
Um, so yeah, so yeah, let's see. Yeah, U.S. MMA. That's U.S. Merchant Marine, but this is at SUNY, at New York Maritime. Obviously, what's reflecting off back there is the water.
Wow.
It's in the Bronx, the of New York, so this is where we played week one. Um, but yeah, this is Merchant Marine that has the ball right now,
Wow.
which you may have seen like some videos on YouTube or whatever. But
And you said they're more.
the Springfield College, um, so they do out here um, and a little bit of mid double, but they don't run mid triple and really don't care to run option as much. They just pound the ball.
Yeah.
They actually made it pretty deep in the playoffs this last year. College did, but yeah, just do more heavy formation wise. Like here's mid double, obviously. Wisconsin, but yeah, it's definitely a. And then I think let's see if this one's at Merchant Marine. Yeah, so this is at Merchant Marine right here.
Wow.
Um, yeah, so this is on like Long Island, New York, or Kings Point, New York. Um, so and then Coast Guard is in Connecticut. So
everything up there is relatively close though, right?
Oh yeah, no, they talk about a 3 hour drive being far here. And I'm just like, what are you talking about? Like I drive 8 hours every Christmas just to see my family in Texas. So but yeah,
That's
no, it's completely different world up here. Um and it's kind of funny being the different one. Um and just kind of experiencing different parts of the country, not even the world, just different parts of the country.
yeah.
But but yeah, obviously out here fishing and seafood is massive. So if you're into fishing at all, you can literally fish off campus here into the Cape Cod Canal. Um, so, but yeah, this is how their Springfield's B-back was a dude. I
Um,
think he led D3 in Russian. So that's obviously who they fed a majority of the time. This is obviously outside beer right here.
they made a run too, right?
Yeah, yeah, they made it far into the playoffs, basically just feeding this guy. They had two seniors at B-back. Um, and obviously, as you can see, they kind of just get big and pound it,
You
don't
ever
run.
you ever
What's
talk to
up?
guys there or
Actually, the head coach here went to Springfield, and we actually just hired a graduate from Springfield who's on staff now. So they actually initially ran the Springfield stuff before I got here. So yeah, no, we definitely know the Springfield guys.
that's
And I could ask the guy on staff because he worked with the slots. Um, so yeah, they've been running it forever apparently. So but yeah, obviously
it's
here's the
just
double
it's
tight
I think it's
that you
cool.
did.
I think it's cool to kind of see all the different styles that you
Oh
have.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean that I've obviously having been all over the country now, I kind of know what makes like Harding different than like the military academies
Yeah.
and like obviously military academies, even the way you guys run your stuff, quarterback has to be an athlete, another running back basically. But at Harding and then here, we kind of quarterback's more of a decision maker, not quite has to be as much of an athlete, just has to be willing to fall forward for 4 yards. But just because we have tags and stuff to fix to get stuff right and stuff. So, but yeah, there's outside beer.
Yeah.
But yeah, like their splits are crazy tight here.
Huh.
So yeah, I don't know necessarily it doesn't seem like there's very much rhyme or reason behind the way they do stuff or way they call plays. Um, but like now they're just in a extra surface here. But yeah, their B back was just a dude,
Hmm.
and their quarterback a pretty decent runner too. But B back was breaking tackles like nobody's business.
Yeah, it helps when you have a dude at beat back.
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, I kind of know that from Harding.
Yeah.
The guy who's the all-time leading rusher at Harding was actually my age, full Chansey. So, and then obviously we had number 26, Blake Del Cruz, and
Yeah.
so, so yeah, no, it's definitely useful. But you kind of gotta. The thing at the difference at Harding was the O line was always good. That's
Mm,
kind of the biggest thing I noticed. It
yeah.
really didn't matter who was in the backfield. The O line was good year in and year out. And you kind of just develop design the option plays depending on what the quarterback's strengths were and stuff.
Coach Chisholm does a good job, huh?
Yeah, yeah. I actually worked personally for him. I wasn't ever on staff officially at Harding, so I was a volunteer for a couple of years, and I actually worked for him in like a little side business he had.
Oh yeah.
Um, yeah, so I obviously got really close with him. And then Coach Wheaton and Coach Underwood. So but yeah, no, the O line. I mean, the thing I tell the guys here is that the reason the O line is always good is because they basically have to practice for 2 years before they even have to play. So because obviously we redshirt at Harding, and then if you're an absolute dude, you travel as a backup.
Mm-hmm.
So you're literally, and then you may get like some game reps as a backup. Your second year there. So by the time you're asked to play, you're a sophomore on the field, but your third year in the program. So you better be good after taking reps for 2.5 years. Um, so that's kind of what I realized after coming here and kind of discussing like what makes the way Harding does it special and stuff. So
And their whole culture is just
oh
unmatched.
yeah, I mean really people always talk about, I mean, the head coach always talks about like he built it or whatever. It was already built before he took over. It really just comes down to recruiting the right kids. And like at one point, one of the my fellow coaches here was like, you talk about you're just proud of the kids you had graduate from Harding. I'm like, literally, they're just good people. Like literally everybody is just good people. Um, and obviously the school design is obviously lends itself towards that being a private Christian school, and kind of negating any kind of bad people even starting in the first place. But if we did happen to bring in the wrong kind of guy, 90% of the team are those good kids, and that guy would be uncomfortable and end up leaving or quitting because of the rest of the good guys on the team. So
Yeah.
I was very uh I got a hands-on experience with all that because I was the head equipment manager for 4 years. So I was literally in the locker room basically with all the players and stuff. So I definitely got a closer look than most other people. So,
Yeah.
but but yeah, I mean, I guess I'll stop sharing,
Yeah.
unless there is something else you wanna look at.
Well, we appreciate it, man, and I think
Yeah,
it's really cool. Um, I think we should do this again. Hopefully, maybe get some more people on, start
yeah,
talking some more ball.
yeah. Of course, I'm always down. I'm not married or anything. Uh, I have time on my hands as long as there's not like a recruit here or something like that. So,
Sounds good.
um, but
Yeah. Well, I know Beau appreciates it too, and I do too, and I look forward to keeping contact and talking more ball, man. Good
yep,
luck
sounds
the
good.
rest. Good luck this summer, and we'll see what you guys do next fall.
Right. Yeah. Thank you.
All right, man. We'll see you
Yep.
later.
See ya.